I talk about also forming your companies because that's kind of my passion, my forte, and where I started when I was 15. And then I also teach you because in order to get him to be able to do his job, us as public insurance adjusters must do our job, and we must understand what that job is. So if you don't file the necessary documents, you don't have the requirements in your documents, as well as going ahead and running clean files, which that is also what I teach 5 days a week. When you bill that, you have to have process. That process can't change. Once you get your process, you must stick to it because that's the only way business record is involved. The only way that he can actually represent PA claims and the insured is to prove this company does business record, one. And they did their job. They filed the necessary complaints. They did everything required under that contract. Because the very first thing that they do, the carrier, is they breach contract. You have to use language. Language is key. You have to know policy. Once you know that policy, like UPC in Wellington, if you get a lead call and they say, I'm with UPC, instead of doing the normal rigmarole, going through all of the discussions, we have to also then go tell them, well, we have to do another step because we have to get this document signed, sworn, and notarized before we can submit your SPOL to fulfill your contractual obligations. And everybody was always, what's the silver bullet to public adjusting? There's two. You have to follow policy, you have to know policy, and you have to do the duties after a loss. That is your job.
Process.
Once you fulfill that
Process
and you do
is the
it clean
bullet.
and you do it as required, step A through Z, you don't cut corners, you don't do anything different on this mobile home than you did on the $50 million structure, you've proven business record. He can take that and he can run with that, and sometimes he can go above and beyond because you did your job.
I think I've fallen down the rabbit hole that most of us do, right? I got my PA license 4 years ago. I have it under my firm. I've been doing appraisals. I joined TAPIA. And then it's like, you go get, I mean, right, what does the license teach you?
Nothing.
Nothing. Right? Nobody teaches you how to be a PA, right? It's like,
Correct.
Even though the adjusters and the insurance side, right? They get their adjuster license, it's a teach them how to go inspect property,
Yep.
right? So I have that knowledge and stuff from appraisal. I've just never used my PA license, so I did it for the first time and then got burned on it. So then I'm like, I'll just stay on the appraisal side, and I know I'm missing a big piece, not doing PA stuff. So that basically what you're saying is what that course would be.
I don't believe in appraisal at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only time that appraisal is appropriate is if a PA is involved in it. Now, whatever the insured needs to get done to get resolution, because there's only 10,000 PAs and we obviously can't handle every damn claim. But if a PA handled the claim, I don't believe appraisal is appropriate. And it's a very simple thing. You like exactament, correct? I too like exactament, which means that the whole price deal is off the table.
Right.
We've agreed that we have a price list in place and that we're going to use that price list. So what we could only have a problem on now is two things: coverage or scope.
Right.
You agreed to coverage or we wouldn't be having the conversation, so that's now out. So now we're talking about scope. That's where my forte is.
Neither one of those are.
This is a factual thing. You said you were going to replace the insulation behind that wall. Okay, we've got egress, regress, and ancillary items. Whatever it's going to take to get me in there to get to that insulation, to get back out and to leave this thing exactly like it was before I left. If I touch drywall in this room, what's going to happen? Where's drywall going to be, sir? Every damn where. On the top of the damn covers for the electrical, on the outlet, and it doesn't matter how much we prep, how much we prepare, all of that's doing is mitigating. It's diminishing how much is actually going to get there, but it's going to get there. And what happens when they turn the damn air conditioner on? That sumbitch is sucking it into the vents, and then it's going to throw it all over everywhere else. Yes, all of these items are factual scope items. So if it comes to a point where the insurance company says that we want to go to appraisal, appraisal is inappropriate. We don't disagree on a price, we disagree on exactament. What you're saying is that you want to use appraisal as a baseball bat to get out of paying what you legitimately owe. As a PA, I did my job, and where we're at right now is you're fixing to get sued. And when you get sued, if the judge states, which he often will, hey, you need to go ahead and play that appraisal process out, then something beautiful happens with the appraisal process. It gets done correctly. It gets done inside the bounds of the law. The attorneys are involved, the courts are involved, and there will be no bullshit here. Right?